Hi everyone, this is Nino. So, if you have been around this channel, you know that I like to try new things, almost everything related to anime. I've tried making opening guitar cover, making my own webtoon, making short animation, making my own visual novel, and some small games. I basically try everything, right? Well, no. There is this one thing that I always want to try. This is anime figurine. Anime figurine is like one of otaku's treasure. It's like our goddess statue to worship. Mainly, anime figurine made from factories with plastic injection molding. However, before all that, it usually from this sculptor guy that made the prototype of the figurine using clay. So in general, we can make DIY anime figurine such that there's a lot of tons of channel about it. So after watching all of this video, I decided that today I will make my own anime clay figurine. And with the search of AI, I feel like this is the time to go back to caveman. To start with, I buy a bunch of clay and start experimenting. I tried polymer clay, it was okay, however I just found out that it needed oven to make it. So I decided not to use it. Next, I tried to use air dry clay. I buy this gray generic air dry clay from this generic art store. Not sure what it made of, it just labeled modeling clay. The texture feels much better than polymer and easier to redo when it's semi-dry just by adding some water. But the problem is after it's completely dry, it's so hard and heavy in comparison with the polymer clay. And also I only have one color, gray. I tried painting it, but after painting the whole thing, I decided it is much easier if I can use a different clay color. So at the end, I buy this new air dry clay with different color. The one that I buy said it is a silk clay. Not sure it made of silk, but it's just so soft and I like the texture. And it's also very light after it dry, and so yeah, it feels really good. So I decided to use this one. I did some practice with the clay I have before moving on the real thing. Well, that's enough practice. Let's do this. But before I make my own anime figurine, I want to add some lighting. So here's the idea. Just as you know, the figurine I'm making is Finny from my visual novel Infinite Robotics. And Finny has lights here and here, and they can change color too. The lines are actually the problematic to me, since this is very small figurine. So I only have a few options: LED lights or EL wire. Initially, I'm planning to use thin EL wire, but then I noticed that most of EL wire are not RGB, only available in one color. So LED light is this. I buy I buy a bunch of LED from a fruit called NeoPixel Nano RGB LED. I made some soldering, wiring. Uh, I I set it up with Arduino to change the RGB color. I soldered the tiny wire on these tiny goddamn tiny LEDs. And finally, it's testing time. Okay, everything seems good to go. It's time to sculpt the anime figure! First, I try sculpting the head. Next, I sculpt the body. I also do some clay mixing here. Then, after the body is done, I make holes and add the LED into it. After that done, I move on to the legs and arm. I decided to modify the design a bit from the original one. I also try putting the LED into this. Then I let the clay dry and then I start putting the UV monochrome resin so that the LED will shine brighter. I noticed even though this resin dry quickly with the UV light, it's still challenging to put it on the lines for the legs and the arms. And also in this one, I try paint the face. Next, after they're all done, I start to assemble them. I use a small metal wire and some extra clay and some water to join them together. Then I finish it by adding the hair. Finally, after all that's done, I'll leave it to dry, and after that it's time for testing. I noticed the LED light doesn't go through the resin line. It's kinda disappointing. Next time, if I ever try to do this again, I'll try to use one color instead of using the changing RGB color. With that, I can try to use yellow wire, which will look much better. But you know what? At the end, it still looks good, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud that I made this from the start to the end. It takes like a few days, but yeah, it looks very good. So that's it. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Please give a like, subscribe, keep watching anime, and see you later. This is Hydro signing out.